The All-Star break is finally over, yet the Astros are still second place. Now, I'm not too worried about it, though 3.5 games is quite a bit. But, you know, if I told you in the beginning of the year that we'd be trailing past the All-Star break, I might have believed you. If you told me it was the Mariners, I would have believed you. But the Rangers? So when All-Star game came, we only had one All-Star representing us. Jordan was voted in, but I mean he's been hurt for a while and he couldn't play. Fromber was voted in, but he couldn't play because of scheduling issues basically. And we had Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker's having a great game, but for the world champions, that's not a lot. The Rangers had like what, 8? Now it's over. We're heading to the second half. There's still a lot of race left, but we're heading to the pit stop, and it'll be nice if we could pick up some guys on our way there and hopefully give us a better chance to win the division and the World Series. So as I'm looking forward to the trade deadline, here are some things that we need to establish first. Our untouchables. Kyle Tucker's not going anywhere. Chas McCormick, he's been on fire. He's not going anywhere either. Jose Altuve, honestly, if it weren't for the emotions, I would consider it just because his contract issue is like he's going to be up in a year or two. But I wouldn't consider it just because he's the heart and soul of Houston. Most of our bullpen, I wouldn't want to lose those guys. Those guys carried us last October. So we wouldn't sell them either. Framber Valdez, he's not going anywhere, obviously. I would say Christian Javier is a bit untouchable. But those are my absolute untouchables. Now, some of them are like, I'll listen, but I'm not really gonna like pay much attention to it. I'll let it go in one year and come out the other. And that's basically Alex Bregman and Jeremy Pena. Both of them are struggling heavily this year. Pena probably is not gonna recover. Bregman, I would hope, is recovering. He had a great game last game. I don't know when this is gonna be posted, but I'm talking about the last Angels game. So hopefully he can turn around. But he is someone that I'll be listening to the offers to. If somebody wants them, if you want to take away a contract issue from me and the player who's struggling and give me a fair return, I'll listen. But by fair return, I mean you want to buy high when he's low. I'm not going to sell low on Alex Bregman. And yeah, so I'm only going to sell high. Honestly, to dumb it down, he's not going anywhere. As for our assets, the Astros farm system, no matter how you want to twist it, it's not good. It's not ranked high. I was looking through our rosters last night. A lot of them, they've got some talent, but they're all old. So even once they can develop, it's like they're not going to be here for much longer. So it's really hard to kind of wiggle in some returns. So, I mean, I know a lot of the Astros fan base has this fallacy that they could just develop anyone into a stud. That's not true. They were just pulling up a bunch of homegrown studs because they had a lot of high draft picks. But now we're in like the dog days of our farm system. It's not doing well. We need to replenish. It didn't hurt that Jeff Luhnow left us without 2 first-round or second-round picks. But James Click did really well in replenishing that. And hopefully Dana Brown has carried it last draft and in future drafts. But that was a long preface. Our most valuable assets, first of all, is Jake Myers. He's still got some team control left. He is just a slightly below average bat. He's like a lot of the older fans. The way they've been describing him, you would think he's like Martin Maldonado at the plate, but he's not. He can hold his ground at the plate well enough, and he's arguably a top 5 defender in baseball, let alone in the center field, probably top 3. Dalton Varsho, if Dalton Varsho couldn't play catcher, and he hasn't played catcher as a Blue Jay, I think, he'd be a worse version of Jake Myers. Jake Myers is better than Dalton Varsho, and Varsho was able to get us get the Blue Jays. Nope, not even the Blue Jays. Varsho was able to get the Diamondbacks. Gabriel Moreno, who is struggling heavily right now, I'll admit, but he's also like one of the top catching prospects at the time, and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. So, I mean, I'm not asking for a huge return, but I would hope we were gonna get something around that for Jake Myers, because that's a huge return for a guy who's worse than Jake Myers. Corey Jokes. Corey Jokes has plus defense. He is around an average bat, and he's got a crap ton of control. The thing is, he's 27. That's gonna tank his value a bit, but I can definitely see him garnering some value for us. Corey Lee has struggled so far this season, but he's highly regarded. He was only drafted in 2019, first rounder. Already made his debut last season, but he didn't stay long enough to get any service time away from him. Like, he has some service time, but he still has, I think, 6 years of team control. So catcher is not, a really thick position in the league nowadays. So if you guys can get yourself a young catching prospect, I think teams are gonna pay a little more for it. And now here's the fun stuff. 3 trade proposals that I have. It's really just 2, because one of them is like, okay, this happens and this isn't gonna happen. But here are 3. I'm gonna go in order of sneaky good, should happen, to damn. My first trade is Jordan Lyles and Daniel Lynch from the Kansas City Royals for Corey Jokes. Jokes, like I mentioned at first, one of my higher value assets, second in value. And here's why I like this trade. Jordan Lyles is not great if you look at his numbers. Damn. He's not really that good at keeping runs away, but somehow amongst pitchers with at least 5 games pitched this season, he's 48th in outs per game. So he can somehow get outs. Just, he's getting a lot of runs too. I don't know. I think right now Christian Javier has struggled heavily, partially due to a really high emphasis on getting more outs. We've somehow, I don't know, our bullpen is tasked like every day. So if we can get a guy like Lyles to just eat up innings, great. I don't really care like about the performance, as long as he just push him to like lower leverage situations. Daniel Lynch, a lot better than Jordan Lyles. He's still got some control too. I would really like to get Daniel Lynch on the Astros. He's 19th in outs per game, and he's 106th in pitches per out. Lyles is 133rd in pitches per out, but that's where the relievers kind of start taking in, so that's why both those numbers went down a lot. I just didn't have the time to kind of calculate among starters. And again, Corey Jokes, above average bats, plus defense, 6 years. I think while eating Lyles and getting Daniel Lynch, I think Jokes can kind of cover all that. And for the Astros, once your key comes back, we could push Lyles to the bullpen so he could pitch games where we're like down 1,000 or something. But I really think those two would be very valuable in complementing Christian Javier and Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown, this year, he's done amazing in the front end of the games, but towards the back end, he's kind of crumbled. That can be part of the workload. That can just be hitters getting to see him more times, and it's really hit on third time through. So I think those two can really help Javier and Brown despite not being completely impressive pitchers. Second trade, I think this covers a lot of needs for the Astros. Marcus Stroman and Cody Bellinger for Corey Jokes, Corey Lee, and Forrest Whitley. Now, this is where the Cubs fans might go, that won't even get you anything. And I'll be honest, it might not outbid the other teams, but Stroman and Bellinger are both likely gone at the end of the season. And don't get it twisted. I feel like a lot of sellers have this fallacy that these buyers are here to make your life better by taking away your guys. I'm not here to do that. I'm not here to make your rebuild of Fantasyland. I'm not here to help you cruise that, you know, devastating phase. I'm here to offer a fair compensation for the guys that I'm taking. And Marcus Stroman and Cody Bellinger, they're both there for 3 months only. Their trade value is really tanking because of that. Bellinger doesn't even help that he's kind of outperforming his peripherals. Corey Jokes, again, provides you a ton of control. Corey Lee, you have Yan Gomes right now. You just lost Wilson Contreras. Yan Gomes is getting old. You can use a catcher in the back end of your farm if you want it. Forrest Whitley, I know he's been injured. He's been plagued. A lot of people are like, he probably does not have that much value. He's still 25. I still think that if you give him time to kind of develop himself, yeah, the Vila's hopefully going to be there after the injury because he's still an Astro right now. I'm still hoping for the best for him. I think Jokes for 6 years of an average bat plus defense, and then Lee for 6 years, he's 23. I mean, I think honestly that really outshot. In 3 months, you're not going to have either Bellinger or Stroman. You might as well get an average bat plus defense, high potential catcher, and a high potential pitcher. Take it. But yeah, I think the really big thing here is just that they're both rentals. So that's in my opinion, honestly, a very fair trade. There have been times where I was like, okay, yeah, let's make this trade, and I'm not being serious about it. This, I'm so serious, is a fair trade in my opinion. Like, if I were the Cubs, I would take this. Now, granted, again, other teams might overpay and offer more. If that's the case, oh well. Unlike other teams, the Astros don't need acquisitions. They would really like acquisitions, but they don't really need acquisitions because they're still a very, very good team. They're expecting Yordan Alvarez to come back. They're expecting Jose Altuve to come back. If we can't get Stroman or Bellinger, oh well. I'm not here to make your life easy. I'm here to offer fair compensation. Alright, now is the trade that if you're still here, you've been waiting for. Probably wondering, damn, did he clickbait me with these? I don't see this dude. But, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's on the thumbnail. I haven't done it yet. But last but not least, my last trade of the trade deadline, I'll just go ahead and say it. Shohei Ohtani to the Houston Astros for Seth Martinez, Jake Myers, Joey Lopervito, and Spencer Arrighetti. Now, you might be thinking, who are these guys? I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking that too. But when you look at the stats, you'll find that this is a very fair offer. Again, with Shohei Ohtani, he's a rental. He's gonna be here for 3 months. That's gonna tank anyone's trade value, even if he's the best player in baseball. And like I said at first, this might not outbid other teams who are willing to overpay, but I'm not here to overpay. Jake Myers, he is one of baseball's best defenders. I said that at first. He's a below average bat, admittedly, but he's still able to hold his ground. He's like in the 90 weighted runs created plus. He's got control. He's got defense. That's an asset if I've seen one. Seth Martinez, I don't know how, but he has not even completed his first year of team control, so he has 6 years left with below average skill and track ERA. So that's a good thing, by the way. It's like a below average ERA. It's like below. So he's an above average pitcher with 6 years. The Angels, didn't they go a draft where they drafted like 20 pitchers all at once because they needed pitching help so badly? Here is some pitching help for you. Now, granted, you're going to take away Shohei Ohtani, who's a very good pitcher, but it'll set you up for the next 5 years with a, not very good, but a very solid pitcher. Joey Lopervito. This dude is crushing right now in single A, no, double A, and he was crushing last year in single A and advanced A. He's only like low 20s in his age. He's got a ton of potential. He's a great bat. And I think the Angels, once they look at his stat sheet, I think they'll like what they see. And then Spencer Arrighetti, also a very solid pitcher in the farm system right now. I think Myers has 3 years left to control. So this gives you 21 years of a dude who's solid at pitching, a dude who's incredible at defense, a really good bat, and a really solid pitcher. I feel like 21 years of that is worth Shohei Ohtani. I don't know. That's all I'm saying. And again, all this for 3 months, not even a year, 3 months of Shohei Ohtani. I know he's the best player in baseball, probably in history. But for 3 years, I think this is a very fair offer. I think you're getting a lot of control of a lot of talent. The Astros can honestly pull this off. Get Shohei Ohtani. He's played outfield in Minute Maid Park before. He can DH. He and Alvarez can platoon with left field and DH when one of them just does not want to move around. And then Shohei also pitches, can eat innings. I mean, he's a perfect fit. I think these are 3 very fair offers. But yeah, I'd really like to hear what you guys think. Who else would you like us to target? Who do you think that I included as a return that you might not be ready to part with? What do you think about the fairness of these trades? And how it fits to other teams? I'd like to hear all of it. Please don't leave me hanging in the comments section. But yeah, I'll see y'all probably next deadline, to be honest.